Start recording. And connecting live video. We live, Evan.
Alrighty.
Show 171. I can't believe it. We're going to hit 200 before long. And I need to share this. We live, Evan. I see us. So I'm going to share this video and we'll get going. Man,
Alrighty.
it is. I don't know where you live, but here it's hot. It's just hot.
And the corn this time of year, the humidity is just, I know it's really bad when I walk out of the house and my glasses fog up. I've got to, either wipe them off or stand there for a minute until they clear.
Yeah,
That's really bad.
I know, dude. I'm feeling your pain. I am living this now. The
I don't know how you do
glasses,
it.
the glasses thing. Never wore glasses my whole life. Hit 51 and I gotta wear them all the time, except when I'm driving or fishing. But yeah, I kind of need them.
Yeah, and as you get older, are you into bifocals yet?
No, I just use the readers.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing when you get older and like you're underneath the car and you're working and you're trying to look through one set of lens and it's too far and one's too close. It's hard to focus on things because you just don't have that, your focal point gets really diminished as you get older. And that's a tough thing.
No, man. Don't remind me, man.
So yeah, I got the bifocals and I really need to get new glasses. They help the bifocals, and then I'm taking off a lot of times to read things up close. So I'm always taking them on and off to do, detail work.
Look, man. Here's how you know it sucks getting old. As hot as it is, I had to sleep with a heating pad last night on my shoulder.
Oh, rough one.
Oh, man, it was horrible. But I'm feeling better. Oh, there's stuff that I can't do anymore, man. I just can't. I'm not 20. I push myself like I'm a 20-year-old.
Yeah, that mechanical work gets hard 8 hours a day as you get older.
I think it'll be a lot better next year. We'll be in a climate-controlled environment with some AC, and that'll be very, very nice. But right now, it is not. I mean, you stand there and sweat.
I've been there. I've had to work on my own stuff in that kind of condition. I don't like to do it. That's only as necessary. When I worked at that little hot rod shop for part-time for 6 months, that place was all air conditioned because we had cars in bare steel, and they would be for months, so you can't have high humidity and you got machinery, so that was nice to work in a garage on cars, but yet in an air conditioned shop. Is I don't have air conditioning in this shop, and my garage here is 2,000 square foot. So I don't even think a mini split would do anything. I would have to almost have a whole house unit for the garage. That's not going to happen.
No.
No.
You better get you a couple big old windmills in the backyard.
But we had a service call last week on the air conditioning compressor. I thought, oh man, this thing is finally gone. No, it was just a capacitor. We seem to lose a capacitor every couple of years. But I asked the guy about new units, what we're talking about if we were to replace it. And he's like, last year I would have told you 4,500 for a whole new unit, but they've changed what freons they use. It's now it's a propane-based freon they're going to in these new air conditioning units.
Yeah.
And so you have to have a separate thing on the exhaust that if it's any out of range, it will shut it down. So, for this little thing to go bad, it's kind of like those new trucks with the afterburner exhaust, stuff. It's just another thing that's another system that's gonna cause you problems one day or another. But he said these new systems, and now this stuff is so much a pound. So he said we bought all the units we could last year, and then we bought some other brand that we don't normally carry just because we could get the old units and service our customers. And he said now we're on to the new style. And he said you're looking about 8 to 8,500 for a new air conditioned unit.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm like, man, this is just it's killing people. It's just killing people. I'm glad. So we had a service call. We popped a capacitor. It seems like we do every other year, and for 140 bucks. If it goes 2 more years, I'll keep paying 140.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Yeah, it
Just
pays.
new units are just okay. My house in Decatur, when I bought that in '99, it had this rusty air conditioned unit out back,
And that
and I
thing
lived there
worked like.
20 years. And I finally replaced it. And when I sold the house, I moved out. I had Briggs put in a whole new unit and everything. And
I think that thing would
but
have
that
probably ran another 20 fucking years.
I don't know, but I think the time I lived in my house 20 years, my parents ended up replacing theirs twice
Yeah.
in that time. And I'm like, this noisy old rusty unit keeps going. I think it was an old train or carrier. I think it was a train.
Yeah.
But nothing is made like it used. Like fridges, you're lucky to get 10 years out of a fridge, not
If,
40.
if that. If that. 10 years, you're lucky. And
Yeah.
and that used to be a thing. Well, it used to be like vacuum cleaners. I remember my grandma having this Hoover. And yeah, she paid a couple $100 for it, but this thing was heavy metal. If you ran your toe over with it, it was gone.
Yeah. I
It,
had one.
yeah, and I mean, them things are still running. If people
That
got them, they're still running.
I had one from the 60s, and my dad put a new motor in it in the 70s. I mean, who puts a new motor in a vacuum cleaner? But he had a shop put a new motor in it like it was a car, and they gave it to me when I bought my house. I used it. A bachelor doesn't vacuum a lot, but I used it for 20 years. Vicky didn't want it, and nobody wanted it. I chucked it. It still worked.
Oh man.
And that was 4 years ago, that vacuum cleaner. I threw it away. It was because that thing was like, it was like 30 pounds. I don't know. It was a tank, but it worked. Worked
Man.
well. You could still get the D bags.
Right. So, dude, we usually do not talk about this stuff because we try not to be depressing. But, man, last week was just like after the show Monday, it was like I was at work Tuesday and somebody had just asked me. They were like, "Did you guys talk about Ozzy's uh, last show?" And I was
Hmm.
like, "Yeah, I think so." And it was like an hour later. I just happened to look down at my phone. I was like, "No way,
Hmm.
no way." Says
Well,
TMZ was reporting that Ozzy had passed away. And it was like,
yeah.
no. And, it's TMZ, so you're kind of waiting for a little more reliable source. And
Uh
then,
huh.
boom, it started hitting all over. I was like, shit.
Yeah. I got a text from Vicky, and I'm like, okay, is this a false alarm? We've heard those before.
Yeah,
With
right, right.
celebrities. And then it was like, so I'm surfing Facebook and everything, and then, like, I don't know, 20 minutes later, I'm like, okay, no, this isn't real. 20 minutes later, boom, 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 and I'm like, no, this is real. This is what we've been dreading, and for a long time. It's been an interesting week. um
N-
yeah.
Now, I had seen Ozzy a few times. Now, the first time I went, and I'll be totally honest, I did not go for Ozzy. My very first concert was Motley Crue opened up for Ozzy, and it was
Hmm.
Motley Crue during like Shout at the Devil and Live Wire. It was good crew, and
Hmm.
I really wanted to see them. I fell in love with Ozzy. Um, I think at an early age because you know, I just, the older kids in the neighborhood loved Black Sabbath.
Uh-huh.
So I knew like almost all the songs and everything. And then it was like seeing him, it was like, wow, okay, I like this dude. So I ended up
Yeah.
seeing him. I never meant to, though. I never bought tickets to go see Ozzy. Like, I got tickets to Ozfest once. And I went because I was a Slipknot fan, and they were, I think, third stage at Ozfest that year.
Uh-huh.
So,
Hmm. Um,
and then
yeah.
I tell you what,
Go
the
ahead.
weirdest time that I ever saw Ozzy. Now, listen to this. It was, and I know you hate this guy, and I got to see him in concert. And actually, we went outside and smoked weed in the car. Um, Typo Negative, Megadeth, and then Ozzy.
I'd love to see Megadeth.
So that was in Bloomington, where you couldn't drink either. So we were going out to a car and drinking and smoking and doing hooligan things.
Yeah. Um, no, I'm, just a few years older. So, like when I was in junior high, that was when everybody was getting into metal. That was, time when Ozzy went solo and, all the Blizzard of Oz stuff. And so that was, I liked it. I always appreciated Ozzy. I liked it. I never really was into his solo stuff that much. Bought his albums or anything. I never did. Um, but I love like War Pigs, the Paranoid, the early stuff, and looking back, that like Paranoid and War Pigs and Iron Man from the second album Paranoid, those songs were really basic and simple, and that they became kind of classic rock staples
Yeah.
when they had so much other better stuff. Um, I mean, their first six albums are just freaking awesome. But and so I was like, I was, Sabbath fan, and so that's where I started the Paranoid album, and all I heard on the radio was that kind of stuff, and I never really got into their regular other albums until later on, and then I was like, oh my gosh, wow. So I've always been, Sabbath fan, and but this week, I had to make some notes. It's been interesting. The response from the media, like when it first happened, I was like, okay, kind of stay away from Facebook and everything, and then now, okay, you get on Facebook and you read comments, NBC News, different things, and some of the comments from people that, oh, he's in hell now,
No.
or
What?
I hope he made peace with God, and some of these I would respond, I'm like, oh, why,
Yeah. Why would
why,
you wish
why?
that on somebody?
Get nothing, nobody, and I'm like, is the Prince of Darkness? I mean, is that's so scary, that moniker to people, that it's just, I'm just,
No.
what did the dude do? Come on,
Yeah.
that was, if you watch professional wrestling, the guy, the Undertaker, you don't say to yourself, man, I bet that guy buries bodies in his spare time.
Yeah.
It's a character. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He wasn't like it. Look, they had that show, the Ozzies or whatever the fuck it was called. Um, he wasn't acting like that at the house and doing, dark, walking around with a robe and making people bow down, and you fucking idiots. I know, man.
No, exactly.
People are just so dumb. You talk about there's one thing you can do at home if you want to. If you go to Google and type in Ozzy Osbourne and search it, they actually got a scroll that goes across and it says, "Thanks for the mayhem, Prince of Darkness," and it throwing up the rock and roll horns.
The outpouring, the response is just, it's been unreal. Um,
Well,
so, but yeah, yeah, but that part threw me. I mean, that was a negative. The rest has been all positive, like what you're seeing. You know,
yeah, yeah.
everything. Country music singers are doing tributes. All
Dolly
these
Parton.
tributes around the. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, that was interesting. Another thing that blew me away. Um, Getting on Facebook. I hope that don't people don't take this wrong. The amount of response from black people was overwhelming. I never think of black people being into metal. It just seemed always being like a white kid thing, and black guys are always into
Oh
rap.
no, I knew.
And I know you do meet some black guys that are into
Yeah.
metal, but it's kind of very few and far between. And my buddy Paul that passed away years ago, we worked together, and I started to play like Tool. You know, he'd come over and work on his car in my garage, and I'd play Tool, and he kind of got intrigued by it and everything, and you know, but he passed away, and it never never got into it more with him. But the black women on there like singing along and not like a typical song, like one more obscure that I'm like, man, they really are fans.
Yeah. Well,
It
see,
just blew me away, and I hope someone doesn't take that wrong. I don't meet many black people, and the outpouring, even the black people aren't into them this week. We're like, hey man, you need to check on your white friends. They're not okay,
no.
they're not doing well
Uh,
this week.
and Ozzy actually he did some shit with Little John. He's done things with quite a few rappers. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and that's the one thing that I don't think people realize that like that Ozfest, um, he paid those guys and he didn't take much money from it. I mean, he took it, what he had to for the organization and everything like that. But like as far as his performing and everything, he made sure all them guys were eating. And
Good.
he took a lot of bands that weren't like, there was a couple headliners, but a lot of them guys were like probably playing, county fairs and shit like that.
Uh-huh.
So
What he did, he was.
he didn't just look out for himself. And in that last concert, I don't know what I keep hearing different numbers, so I'm not gonna give you a number and be wrong, because I've heard like five different numbers, but all that went to charity and to help
Mm-hmm.
other people, and to me, that what a rock and roll way to go.
Dude, that is. Yeah. Um, I can't think anything.
Was
uh,
he?
Someone made someone made a comparison this week that he was the Elvis of our generation, and I was like, oh, whoa, that's a bold statement, like.
I
And so I really had to sit and crunch on that one. I mean, Ozzy, he was the godfather of metal. I mean, the dude started a whole genre, but his influence to other genres,
mm-hmm.
artists.
Yeah.
I mean, he spread across the board. It wasn't just he was a metal person. I mean, he was sampled. Ozzy and Sabbath, I think, have been sampled more than anybody.
Uh,
You know.
you know what? And maybe it's because it's a generation, but I mean, I listen to Elvis Presley. I
Mm-hmm.
would I I would say Ozzy was. Look, Elvis stole a lot of his. He didn't steal it, but the sound and everything was like blues, kind of sped up, and shit like that. He. I don't think he came up with the rock and roll sound, as like they say. I think he was a phenomenon. I'll give him that. Uh, but I don't think he had the impact like Ozzy did, or the longevity. We got to
Yeah.
talk longevity too.
Oh, without question. That's why. when I put my thoughts together, I'm like, this dude is really, he was the biggest rock star ever. He
There won't be anybody bigger than Ozzy.
No, I can't see having another star
No.
that developed a style of music. It was instrumental in. I mean, like Sabbath, they were heavy. They were a blues band at first, and they set they were practicing across the street from this theater. It was playing old movies. It was playing an old movie called Black Sabbath, and an old scary movie. And they're like, man, people pay money to be scared. Wouldn't it be cool if we were the music version of a scary movie?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that if you listen to their first song, Black Sabbath, by the band Black Sabbath, off the album, get this, Black Sabbath.
How awesome is that?
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, it's a dark, haunting, like, they were just trying to be like Doom. I guess these days what you would call Doom rock, but okay, Tony Iommi, the guitar player, he worked in a factory and he was quitting. He was kind of, the band was coming together, but and he was actually gonna take off his last day at work. He told him he was quitting, and supposedly his mom said, no, you're a man. You said you were gonna work. You're gonna do it. So he went to work, and they had him working on a piece of machine in this factory that he wasn't used to, and he sliced off the tips of his two fingers.
Oh shit.
So, and they was like, you're not playing guitar again. So, the dude went home, and what he ended up doing, he would glue plastic caps to his two middle fingers on his left hand so he could play guitar. This is how he played guitar all the time. And also, to be able to do that, he didn't have, not the strength but the feel.
Yeah.
So he used lighter strings, and he down tuned them. And he gave that grungy sound, that down tuned. To me, Sabbath, like when they talk about grunge of the '90s, I'm like, the first to me like really grunge song I think of is "Fairies Wear Boots."
Oh my God.
If you listen to that song, that guitar is just, it's so
Shredding.
grungy and
Yeah.
dirty. And I mean, that song is probably one of my favorite Sabbath
Oh,
songs.
I love Fairies Wear Boots.
But anyway, that's kind of how they got their sound. They developed. They went from like they changed their name. It was like Earth Blues Band or Earth
Yeah.
to Sabbath, and that's how they kind of developed their sound, which turned into metal. And I mean, what most people think of metal these days is not Sabbath being metal. It's raw. It's heavy blues. It's like comparing old country to new country.
Yeah.
You know,
You
it's
can't
like,
do
this
that.
is yeah, it's like, this is country. Like, no, this is not country.
No.
So like if you listen to, if you got 15 minutes of your life, if you go to their first album, I don't know how they got away with this on their first album. These dudes didn't care about recording. They just wanted to go out and play, but they had to have an album to push their music. So they went in the studio, and if you listen to a bit of Finger slash Sleeping Village / Warning, it's one take, and it's 3 songs, and it's like 14 some minutes long.
Oh my God.
And then like if you listen at like the beginning, it almost starts off, it's kind of blues, and it's like you take some blues and you throw in some distortion and a little bit of kind of jazz, and then you throw in a monotonous guitar solo in the middle to like, where is this dude going? And it's like a funnel, and by the end of the song, it's like metal comes out the other end.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. It's like, I think this song, they actually kind of invented a sound by the end of it. It's a weird song. It's not for everybody. A lot of early Sabbath stuff is just, it's really raw, and it's heavy blues. But I dig it because everything these days is so processed and refined. Everything sounds like
Yes.
drum machine, drum tracks, everything. They go in, even if it's not a drum machine. You have a drummer. They take it on a screen. They can move things, and they can copy and loop drum track, and everything to me just sounds, so you listen to this, I mean, Sabbath, it was just a raw guitar riff and a thundering bass. I mean, Geezer doesn't get the credit he deserved because he really wrote all their lyrics. Geezer Butler, the bass player, and then Bill Ward is just pounding the drums, just thundering. These guys were just going out and they were banging it. And yeah, he developed they developed, metal. I mean, and
I think so.
so,
I know there.
man, what a week when I thought about him, like, is he the Elvis of our generation? Absolutely. He was a front man,
Yeah.
he was a singer, he really wasn't a musician, and he wasn't a songwriter. Neither one
No,
really wrote any songs that really much.
I don't
I don't
think
think
you.
Ozzy wrote. I think Ozzy has written some stuff or kind of collaborated, but I don't
Yeah.
believe Elvis ever wrote a song. And I'm trying to think if Elvis really did play guitar, if it was just kind of a prop with him.
I know.
But
I know. That's one thing I was trying to think. Have I ever seen Ozzy Osbourne even hold an instrument?
he play on the first album. He plays harmonica on the song
Oh,
"The
yeah,
Wizard,"
yeah.
and that's all I know. And I thought I've seen and I don't know if I could find it, but I thought I've seen him like sit at a piano and kind of like he wrote a lot of the melodies and everything. He
I
wasn't a
think he did
musician. I
play
don't think he
piano.
really, yeah, I think he could like do it, but he was more like he was an arranger. He had the voice, but he wrote the melodies. I mean, if you listen to some Sabbath stuff, a lot of it was just early, just repeating riff based stuff, and he's singing a melody over a riff, which can't be easy to do. I'm not a singer, but to play some guys playing some repeating riff, and you're going to completely singing different melody over the top of it. Hats off to you. I couldn't do it. You know. Um, so, like I said, I don't even know where to go. I mean, it just when I thought about like you said, the biggest rock star ever. Are we gonna see another one like him?
No,
No. Was he was he a perfect person? No.
no.
I mean, he had his demons. He went through all his stuff. He tried to kill Sharon, and one time he tried to strangle her, and
Yeah,
he was drunk as fuck. And on I mean, he said, I was a drug addict. I was, but I mean, the dude came clean. He never blamed anybody. He owned up to it. He changed. He was a good husband. He looked like he was a good dad, and he was just a real person. I mean, when you watch the show, like you said, he's not wearing gowns and stuff. He's in his pajamas shuffling around the
yeah.
house and can't find stuff, and and just being a goofball. And I was like, he really had a sense of humor on a level. I watched this interview earlier, and he was like, I regret that I bit the head off a bat. I regret that I was a drug addict. I regret some of the things I've done.
Well,
It's not easy being Ozzy Osbourne, but it could be worse. I could be Sting. Like this dude was just okay. Prince, a great musician,
yes.
artist, everything. Could you imagine a reality show with that dude?
No, because Prince was pretty quiet.
Exactly. So
Well, I mean, we
like I said,
don't
Ozzy,
know. I mean, and
everything
we didn't know with Ozzy either. We thought he was
I know.
serious and ran around with, sat in a room with a throne with like those big Satan dogs next to him, and
Yeah, I guess I just like to me he was just a different character. How that dude was the biggest, rock star metal god, and then he was a goofball. He was one
yeah,
of us. I mean, he was like a rock star, of the people for the people.
I think so.
Even dude, when he started with Sabbath, he answered an ad, and the whatever this guy John Osborne, and they're like, John Osborne, I hope it's not that dude that we bullied in school. And Ozzy showed up and like, damn, it's him. I
Oh
mean,
man,
it was, I mean, Ozzy, he was, man, zero to hero.
yeah, he
Yeah.
grew
So
he grew up
like,
very very poor.
yeah. So like, when you put it all together, man, Elvis of our time, yeah, at least, and then some. I
I
mean,
think
dude, the
I think he's on
biggest
a
rock star.
different level. I don't
Yeah.
think Elvis could tie his shoes. Sorry.
But yeah. But I think of like Elvis' last show that where he did, it was an Unchained Melody or something. I'm like, wow, what a performance. It's like Ozzy. his last performance, the dude basically arranges his own funeral,
Yeah.
come his own event, charity event, his basically last concert, his final farewell. Does it raises a well, you were talking about numbers. I
Yeah.
have heard 190 million. He basically generated his net worth on his last show for charity and went out the door a week or so later.
Yeah. Gangster.
Cool.
I want to go out on a fishing boat. Like after a good day of fishing, I start up the boat, put it in gear, and it just explodes.
Man, I've never thought about it. Yeah.
Uh,
You going out what you love, you know.
yeah, man. Um, Now the next one, a lot of you might not have ever got into, but very, very next day, and I don't know his real name is Terry something, but Hulk Hogan died. And
He was an icon.
I haven't watched wrestling in probably 20 years. But when he... Dude, I watched a thing right before the show. It was like a little tribute to him. And they were talking about when he slammed Andre the Giant. Which was...
about killed him.
Yeah, about 7... It ripped both of his biceps. But he knew... Yeah. And put a hole in his back. It's crazy. But he did that to put and it did. That thing right there put professional wrestling on the map. I mean,
It's one of those epic scenes, moments.
And
Yeah.
sold out Madison Square Garden. Now at this time, everybody I mean, there was people that had their doubts, and I mean, you can't get beat up 3 days a week, be put through tables and everything, and still show up to work the next day. So, it finally got out that wrestling was kind of scripted and fake. But there for a while, man, in the 70s, they thought that shit was real. And there'd be, you can go on YouTube and find them, but there'd be fights inside where these people hated these wrestlers so much that they were trying to get at them.
I grew up in the 70s, and I watched some little wrestling, but I never got into it that big. I knew it was fake, and it was amusing, the psychotic interviews, the guys just going nuts. I'm like, man, these guys are full of rage. And I loved Mean Gene, and I was worried about the guy. As a kid, I'm like, is one of these guys going to go off and hurt Gene? Because these guys are psychotic. They are acting like nuts, like they're just going to flip out at any second.
Yeah.
And you watch some of those Macho Man and all that, man, those guys were so coke fueled and just,
dude,
they were
zapped. Oh, we're getting ready to shoot an interview. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Macho Madness, yeah.
So wrestling, to me, it was just too outrageous. I never got into it that big. But man, the Hulk was the Hulk, and I feel sorry for him. His reality show, that could make you look good, like Ozzy, or that could make you look bad,
like that.
And
did. That made his whole family look bad and put him under a microscope. And I mean, look, we gotta quit thinking these famous people are fucking perfect. Because
some of the things Hulk has said and stuff, and
oh man, yeah, he's had to apologize for some of his language. Supposedly he's in a sex tape.
Really?
Yeah, with who's that one? Bubba the Love Sponge. I guess he was a radio host or something, and like a shock jock down in Florida or something. And I guess him and Hulk Hogan Well, I guess he filmed Hulk Hogan with his wife.
Huh.
Which, you know what? I'm just gonna. I'm gonna put
Oh
this
well.
out there right now. I am not filming some other dude plow my girl. That is never gonna happen in my world. And you are a fucked up individual. If you got thoughts like that, straight up, there's something wrong with you.
I could agree with that.
I mean,
That's just strange. It
if
doesn't make sense to me. It
no,
defies law. It defies basic logic. But hey, to each his own. But yeah, I'm with you.
yeah, no. So yeah, and I mean, he kind of put the World Wrestling Federation at the time. He kind of put them on the map and got them. Uh, if you ask me, I think he's responsible for wrestling still being on TV today.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
was.
watch it, but I mean, he was the one because it had been around. It wasn't getting like national attention. You had your little, you know, small Midwest parts. Like we had wrestling at the Chase, which was in St. Louis, and it was on
Mhm.
KPLR. And then after that, it was like boom. It started getting bigger. They started uh, when the World Wrestling Federation actually started going national. Um, they would come and get like a lot of the best talent from these smaller places, and that's how they built that empire. All thanks
Mm.
to slamming a 700 pound giant.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
speaking of giant, they said Andre the Giant. They stopped and got him 2 cases of beer for a 6-hour trip. And they thought, oh, okay, he'll drink well, I guess he grabbed a 6-pack, and they bought 2 cases, so there was 48 beers. When they stopped at the hotel, they opened the back of the van, and Andre the Giant was there, laid there with 56 beer cans, or I mean 54 beer cans, empty.
Yeah.
That dude drank 54 beers.
I think his biggest record was like 112 or 120. That his one of his big beers. I mean, if you look at his hand, putting a beer can in it, it's like if you put in your hand one of those like 7-ounce cans.
Yes.
I mean, for him to drink a beer was almost like taking a really big gulp.
Yeah, it probably was.
I mean, I could slam
Man.
if I wanted to back in my day. I could slam half a beer in one gulp. You know what I mean? So think that dude was huge. But speaking of, quote from him, man, he did not like. I don't want to knock the Hulk, but man, Andre and the Hulk did not get along, did they?
No, not there towards the end.
And see,
Eh,
that breaks my heart because everyone loved Andre, and Andre loved
right.
everybody. So, but I don't want to bag on Hulk because I hate when people do after their death. The cancel culture shit.
Business
And it's
wise,
like,
look, business wise, he was the kind of businessman that made sure that his brand wasn't going to be hurt, and he looked out for himself. Which, hey, we're all guilty of. We all want the best deal for ourselves. I mean, if we can bring everybody with us, great. But
yeah,
your bottom line is you can't knock yourself down. Just prove a point. So he probably made some business decisions that might be questionable back then, but who knows? They
yeah.
didn't involve me, so I'm cool with the Hulkster.
Oh, I gotcha.
So
Like I said, it's quite an icon. I mean, there's another character we'll probably never see another quite like that guy again.
yeah, I don't think
Y-
so. I don't think
People
so.
that have their brand and do something, it just
Now, I think the closest you'll get, and a lot of people will say The Rock, because he kind of made the wrestling more mainstream. However,
I could see that.
he wouldn't have been able to get it as far as he got it if Hogan wouldn't have got it as far as he got it first. So,
Good point.
to each his own, I don't watch
Mm-hmm.
wrestling anymore. I'm not really a sports guy at all, so kind of boring. I like to fish. That's my sport. I fish and cuss. Son of a bitch. Especially when I went to my one spot and they're doing work on the other end. They're putting a damn, I don't know why, but a little subdivision down in there. And there's oil all on the top of my fucking fishing spot.
Ooh.
Yeah.
From what?
I don't know. But hopefully the EPA is listening. Check that shit out.
I'm sure they tune in.
Evan,
Yeah, I think I would call them. You'd be surprised. Say, hey, I'm seeing something. You, I don't know. You'd be surprised. I sent a letter off once. I didn't think I'd get a response. They'd re-blacktop the highway going by our neighborhood, slash village slash town, and they didn't paint the lines, and there's no street lights. It's dark as hell. You're just on a, you're just on a black piece of blacktop in the dark, and I sent them a letter, and man, I got a response the next day, and they said, we'll be there Friday, and I think they came by Wednesday. It was one of those things like, damn, I got a response I didn't expect.
yeah.
So you never know, but I don't know. That's not good. If something's changing, what's going on?
I don't know. The last one I wanted to talk about, because they say they come in threes, and they did. But I watched the hell out of this show. I know he played in a few movies after the show, but the Cosby Show, Theo.
Theo actually died right before our last show,
Oh, okay.
and I actually knew it, and I was gonna mention it, and somehow it slipped my mind, and I mean, he was a big character, but not huge.
No,
But
no.
but he played in some stuff, and I don't
Yeah.
know whatever happened to him, because he was not just the Cosby. He did some of the scary movies
Yeah.
and stuff. But I don't know. Did he ever have problems, or did he just say
No.
he just wasn't a big star? Just,
Yeah,
wasn't big.
I think he did some behind the scenes directing and shit like that too.
Oh, cool.
I'm not sure, but yeah. So that was another person from our past.
Yeah, our childhood. Yeah, I
Yeah.
watched the hell out of the Cosby Show.
Hell
I mean,
yeah, the
every week
Cosby Show was. Hey, I tell you what, NBC made a lot of money off the Cosby Show.
Oh sure, everybody loved it. That was huge.
Evan, we got a few minutes. We got about 15 minutes. I got a little bit of weird and wacky news from around the world.
Alrighty.
A cat named Leonardo da Vinci. He doesn't want your affection, Evan. He wants to steal your underwear.
Underwear burglar.
Yeah.
Cat burglar.
His prolific laundry pinching from clotheslines and bedrooms in the beachside neighborhood of it looks like Mararangi Bay has turned 15-month-old Leo into a local celebrity.
Huh.
He is actually, yeah.
It's weird. Sometimes those klepto cats. I don't know. They get on stuff and just,
And he's got expensive taste, it says, Evan. His frequent hauls include silk boxer shorts, thick men's work socks, and almost all his hauls come with clothespins still attached.
Man, this cat knows what he wants. Knows
Oh,
quality when he sees it.
oh my God. And in one mortifying episode for us humans, a brand new 300 New Zealand dollars, $181 cashmere sweater.
Ooh, that's
Oh
pretty
my
funny.
God. So yeah, if you're going to New Zealand, lock up your drawers. Uh,
No shit.
Doctors warn of risk of death from penis
Oh no.
Botox and filler injections, Evan.
You don't recommend that?
No, I'm not going to. Just, hey, if you got a little bitty one, as long as it works for you, buddy.
Why, if you have a penis that works, why would you do anything that would risk it not working?
Yes.
Don't inject fillers into your little
No.
man. Don't do it.
Don't put nothing sharp down there. Don't. We've already talked about this. Don't smuggle snakes, spiders, anything like that down by that area. Stay
Well,
away.
this is just like the women with the big butt injections where they're getting filler and pumped into their butt. It's like, well, what the hell are you thinking? This could not end well. If you plan to live a long life, this cannot end well for you. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right.
So, D-Town listeners, Alfred D-Town and, Chili442 listeners, don't inject your body with any kind of filler.
Nothing. It's not worth it.
No.
Woman finds stranger under her hotel bed. Shit. That's kind of
Why?
fucking creepy.
That's extremely creepy. You think every maid looks underneath the bed? You could hide out underneath the bed and they think you've checked out.
She said there was an odd smell. I craned my neck to check, and two dark, wide eyes blinked back at me in the darkness.
He farted underneath there.
Oh, this was in Tokyo. Yeah, them Tokyo guys are weird. They'll buy goddamn panties out of a vending machine. Come on. You don't expect them to be fucking in your room?
Man, I did not see the panty vending machines last year. I did see that's a whole vending machine of sriracha, but no panties in a vending machine. If I ever go back, I'll look, but I don't plan on it. That's funny.
Evan, Kentucky man wakes up during organ harvesting procedure.
Oh, that's not good.
What a great time. He picked a great time to wake up, though. You don't want to sleep through something like that.
Was he in a bathtub on ice, packed on ice?
I don't know, but it is prompting a federal investigation, Evan.
That's probably good.
Astronomer hires Gwyneth Paltrow to help clean up after Coldplay Kiss Cam scandal. What the fuck is... Who the fuck is Gwyneth Paltrow? She's an actress.
Is she married to the singer? What does she have to do with this? Is she married to the singer?
I don't know.
What the heck? Didn't she have some vagina smelling candles? Was she the one selling that crap?
I think so. Ex-wife up front ran Chris Martin to act as a temporary spokesperson. Dude, you don't need that. You fucked up. You got caught. No, oh, well. Take your licks and just get on with your life. Don't waste a bunch. You're wasting a bunch of money. I bet you he's paying her like $250,000. Help me get out of this. Dude, you're already in it. You just got to wait till it dies down. Trust me, these stupid-ass people that follow these news cycles anyway, it'll be something new tomorrow.
Yeah.
The only thing he was probably happy that Ozzy passed away. Son of a
Took some heat
bitch.
off of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the news thing. It was like, here we are, week 2 of this one in the memes. Like,
Oh
this is damn
God.
near turning into the Hawk 2 of last summer. It's like, is it gonna end?
Evan Judge tosses lawsuit against Half Moon Bay Ritz Carlton by couples served water bottle with a little bit of man juice in there, Evan.
Oh no, that's not good.
Yeah, and coming to find out, he put it in there and tried to give it to his wife.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he's claiming, that it was a joke. But then he saw how mad she was and didn't want to say, hey, I did that. What a douche, Wanda.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe that idiot hired Gwyneth Paltrow. Dude, if I'm ever rich and I get in trouble, I am not going to hire a celebrity to, like, hey,
Take the heat off of me.
yeah,
Say some good stuff for me, about me. That's when you got money.
Evan, bozo criminal of the day. This one's a good one. This is our buddy. This is how we end our news with our buddy Dave Moreland at bozocriminal.com. You can go check out his page. This guy is from New York. He stripped off all his clothes, Evan, butt naked, and he stole a boat, which he took for a joyride down the Hudson River. He was quickly apprehended by the cops and was taken to New York Presbyterian Hospital for a psychiatric evaluation. Because they
No
probably,
shit.
yeah. Here's where it gets interesting, Evan. He somehow slipped out of his handcuffs and slipped into a doctor's coat and pants. He then walked barefooted past a sleeping guard at his door and out the front door of the hospital.
Smooth.
The sleeping guard has been suspended and the search is still on for our suspect.
Nicely done. I'm not so crazy.
Man. I mean, let's see.
Yeah. Nobody looks at your feet anyway.
Yeah. Ugh. I am trying to find us. We're about done with the show. And I'm trying to find us. We like do these fun little questions of the day. I think we did that one. Evan, have you ever thought about what your future baby will be named as you flush him down the toilet? Oh my God.
Okay, my family, by default, if I had a son, he would be named James after my father. His middle name would be Evan after me because that's how the Greeks do it. That's how we do it. And
Oh,
I'd never thought about a daughter though. What I would name my daughter, but probably something after my mom or grandmother.
yeah. I think I'd have to go there. Although I couldn't go with my grandma because that's my grandma's name was just such an old lady name.
I had a grandma Opal also, so
Oh yeah, that's another one. Mine was Helen.
you hear Helen more than Opal these days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in our family, like I have a grandmother Mary, I have a sister Mary, I have a cousin Mary. If you've ever seen that movie, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where they're like Nick and Nikki and Nick and Nico and Nicholas, and Nicolette. I mean, it's like Vicky's like, man, your family is just James, Mary, Evans, Georges, and we got a bunch of Sarahs. But anyway, so anyway, that's where it would go. So I was named after my grandfather. It's just natural. You're firstborn, you name it after your grandfather. That's how everybody just kept track. You just knew. That's how when you met somebody, if you knew their middle name, you knew who their dad was. You know,
Oh,
you knew in the village. You know, oh, he's this, he's the
yeah.
son of this. You know,
That way, there ain't no cousin bumpings going around.
right. So if I talk about one of my cousins, if I say like George Paul, or if I say George Chris or whatever, then they know, you know, oh, George from but Chris's son. It's just that's how they did it. You named after your first one was named after your father.
E-
Anyway.
Evan, I got two fun ones for us tonight. What is the most useless talent you possess?
Oh man, I can do the wave with my eyebrows. Uh, and I can, if I hold my nose, sometimes I can blow air out of one of my eye ducts, my tear ducts in my eye, and it'll bubble sometimes. Anyway,
Oh my God. Uh,
what else? That's pretty much it. No, I
uh,
don't know.
I am
Trying to think of what else.
I am great with arm farts. I can make those sound really real. Um,
That's a talent.
I have been known to light a fart or two.
That's true.
Uh,
That's
yeah, those are
quite
pretty.
the skill.
And then the last one. And now that
Yes.
you have some chickens, I can ask you this. What are two things you would like to ask your pet?
Oh man. I often say to Vicky, do these chickens know how much they're loved? Because we always sit there like it's having these
Oh, that's
dumb
a good
birds,
one.
go around our yard. It's just like they're some work, but not more work than a dog. You
Right.
gotta clean out their pen once a week. You gotta fill their feeders, all that stuff. But in a way, they brought a lot of joy to our life. Just to sit and watch these birds, just like a fish in a fish tank.
Yeah.
It's peaceful. It's tranquil to just kind of sit and watch them do their thing, and they're kind of funny. They'll peck at each other. They'll do silly stuff. They're dumb birds. And sometimes if you corner them, you can pick them up, and just sit there and pet them like a cat. But after a while, they want to be on the ground. They want to go. So yeah, that's one thing. Like, do you know how much you are loved? Do you realize how good you have it? That most chickens,
Yeah.
they say there's more chickens than there are humans on the planet.
Oh,
Um,
damn.
so yeah, that's a crazy factoid. Like all the ants outweigh all the humans in the world, but there's supposedly more chickens. And like, think how many live in like little boxes, and all they do is eat and lay eggs. And like our chickens, they have a brand new little house. It's completely secure and safe. They have a nice little run. They have food all the time. They get fed all scraps off the table. I mean, these things eat pretty well for chickens. They have a nice little yard now that we let them. We've kind of semi fenced it in, and they're not smart enough to know that they can jump over a 4 foot tall fence. I mean, they're really dumb. It's funny. Um, but anyway, they've got a nice, beautiful garden that they can go and snack on worms and plants and everything. I'm like, these chickens are the 1%ers. Do they realize it?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
you freaking got it made. Like all the dogs that are in a pen, or whatever. That just they want to be that one to get with the family
Yeah.
that just
Yeah.
loves them and takes them in a ride with a car. Think how many dogs would just love to ride in a car. And think
Oh,
how many
one
dogs get
time.
to say, I get to ride in a car. I mean, it's just stuff like that. Yeah, my chickens. Do you know how good you got it, and do you know how much you are loved? Yeah. What do
Yeah.
you got?
I think I would. I'd piggyback off yours with the Tanner. Do you know that I love you because I haven't killed you yet? And then my other question to Tanner would be, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? It's like you get everything. I buy him toys, everything else. and he wants to just like, his thing is he just pops up with one of my socks. And
Yeah.
he puts one hole in him. One single hole. Like, you
Ye-
know, he doesn't want to take the sock and just keep it and play with it as a toy. No, he puts one single hole in it and then leaves it.
And that hole grows quick.
Yeah.
And you end up throwing that away. Oh,
So,
that's a bummer. Yeah, I hate the destruction. I love dogs and cats, and we've talked about it, but just man, what they could do to, what I saw at your old place, chewing up baseboards. The dog that
oh,
the dog that pissed on your big screen TV and shorted out the power supply.
oh my
Um,
God. Who was that?
peeling,
Red. That,
chewing up the linoleum. How a dog can just start chewing on a floor that's perfectly flat. How he got his teeth into something to start chewing a hole in the floor. It's like, okay, well, looks like we're putting down tile.
yeah,
You know,
sure
it's
did.
so much. I'm glad that we have a pet that's an outdoor pet.
Right.
That I can go visit, but yet they're sustainable on their own. That if I don't go out there for a full day, they're fine, and they probably didn't notice. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Evan?
Not like a dog that molests you when you walk in the door.
No kidding. Evan,
Yeah.
we're over an hour, buddy.
Yeah, we should quit rambling.
Yeah, go ahead and tell these beautiful people goodbye.
Right, people. Man, I hope you stuck with it. I hope any Ozzy fans enjoyed what we had to say, or maybe get a different perspective on things. I just, man, I don't want to go long, but I just always hate that he's satanic, the devil worshiper, and all that stuff, and that wasn't the dude. And I mean, he wasn't perfect, but cut the guy some slack. Who is so? Anybody who listened to us tonight, it's kind of a different show. I mean, thank you, and come back next week. We'll talk about more dumb stuff.
Yeah, and that's usually what we do. And we've been going for 171 episodes now, getting ready to close 171, and but those two happening, that's something that doesn't happen a lot. I know we've lost a lot of great people that have entertained us and over the years, and even personal friends and everything like that. So we just every once in a while we got to tip our hat, and that's what we decided to do this week. Next week we'll be back with silly news. We'll have some weird lists. There's a couple funny lists that I found today, and I was hoping we'd get to one of them. But we'll try that next week. So, hey, guys, thank you so much for the support. We love you guys. Peace. Be good to one another. Hey, if you like the show, share it. It's a good show to share. We get... It wasn't as ornery as last week's show. And I think last week's show got kind of scaled back a little bit. Because...
Oh.
Yeah. I'll talk to you about that after the show. But anyway, gang, we love you. Peace. Be good to one another. We'll catch you next Monday for another exciting episode of the Al from D-Town. That's me and Chili442 Show. That's him right there. Peace.
Later.